I first became aware of Ken Treister many years ago when the Holocaust Memorial was first being designed. I was working at the Holocaust Documentation and Education Center. And so early on, I knew of Ken Treister. And then once the memorial was developed, was built, created, we brought teachers for Teacher Institute, and Ken came and spoke to our teachers. So that was the very first time I met Ken. I actually don't know how it was through Sandra that we were able to get Ken to be interviewed. But what we did was we took a field trip and we went first to Tampa, and we interviewed a Holocaust survivor who was 101. And then we went from there to Winter Haven and interviewed Ken. And it was such a privilege because we interviewed him in his home in Winter Haven. And Winter Haven is, you know, it from what we saw coming in, it's just this little town with, you know, regular stores and nothing exciting. And it was kind of blah, really. And then we took a turn and we started driving into Ken's entranceway to his home. And all of a sudden it was like an oasis in a desert. And he has his sculptures all over his garden, beautiful, beautiful sculptures. So we had the opportunity to walk through the garden and just spend time looking at all his art. And then we interviewed him, and we were with him for about an hour and a half. And he was very generous in his conversation and sharing all that he did. He is an artist, a sculptor, a ceramist. I mean, he has so many talents. Painter, and he has all his art, not all, I'm sure, but all his house is surrounded with his art, all kinds, and it's really magnificent. It was like walking into a museum. And then to sit there with him and listen to him talk about how he went to Mexico, and where was the other country? I want to say Taiwan, I'm not sure, where he actually had people working on the sculptures for the memorial on Miami Beach. He talked to us about his family, how important his family is, how supportive his wife was always. He talked about he's very interested in the birth rate in the country and how important it is to have children and to bring children into this world. I mean, it was really interesting. It was not just talking about his art and his work. He is such a warm, wonderful human being, very bright. I mean, just he knows so much about so many different things. And so that was truly a privilege to have the honor to be able to interview him.